Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. I'm Allison with Green Goddess Plants and Seeds, and welcome to another garden chat. So yes, autumn is in the air. We're only a few days into September, and things are definitely feeling more autumn-like out here. We picked the cucumbers are still going strong. Tomatoes are still going strong. Fingers crossed. We have not had any frost as of yet, though it could happen at any time. But I'm hoping it holds off. What we have had though is rain. We've had lots and lots of rain. I think Glenn said we've had more rain in the last 3 or 4 days than we've had all year long. And so because of that rain, because it was so, hot and dry before that, the tomatoes are starting to split. And not just the tomatoes are splitting, but some of the winter squash is splitting as well. So as you can see here, there's a Canada crookneck and it has split. So I'm hoping that it's not quite ripe or ready to pick. And I'm hoping that by leaving it on the plant, that it will develop some scar tissue over the exposed areas so that it doesn't rot. I mean, yes, those areas are more susceptible to rot and stuff, but I'm hoping that doesn't happen if it develops some scar tissue. And same with the tomatoes. Usually if they split and if they're still on the plant, they will develop some scar tissue. They won't look pretty anymore, but they're still edible. But yeah, so we picked cucumbers. Well, I think we picked at least 110 pounds of cucumbers this week. The market itself, like yesterday was the farmer's market, and we're noticing that the market itself is starting to slow down. I mean, the market's it's not nearly as crazy busy as it was in July. Like July, it was just the farmer's market. People would be lined up. They would have, like, the vendors aren't allowed to start selling until 10 o'clock. So people would be lined up, people at the front of the line would have their hands on the produce that they wanted, and they would just be ready with their wallets to pay for what they wanted, right? And it was just so crazy. And now, who knows, yesterday, well, mind you, yesterday it was kind of damp and rainy, but I might have had an impact. But we're still selling stuff, but there isn't that craziness that there was in July. Like, the customers were kind of trickling in. It was kind of drawn out throughout most of the day kind of thing. Whereas before, those first 45 minutes, they would be the crazy busy, and then it'd be quiet the rest of the day. So the market itself is kind of slowing down. There is a few more weeks for it. It goes till the second weekend of October. So still a few more weeks to go. Everything is starting to wind down, although some things, will continue to produce until we do get a frost. So like the cucumbers are still flowering. The pumpkin vines are still flowering, although I have started cutting them off so that the fruit that's already on the pumpkin vines will continue to grow and ripen rather than them setting new fruit, because any fruit that's set now won't actually get time to ripen or grow or get very big. But yesterday at the market we had pumpkins, we had spaghetti squash. We actually had 6 spaghetti squash that were ready, and we sold all of them. We took pumpkins, we had a couple of eggplant, we took some peppers, with bell peppers that were ready. And of course, tons and tons and tons of cucumbers. So we've got lots of cucumbers still coming in, and cabbage, and I had a good picking of broccoli and cauliflower. I'm actually pleasantly surprised at how well it did, and I was actually worried about the cauliflower because it kind of just sat there for the longest time and it wasn't doing anything, and we were actually tempted to pull it out, and then all of a sudden it starts showing heads. So I'm like, okay. And then they developed really nice big heads of cauliflower. So I'm happy with the way it turned out. We didn't plant a lot of it, just enough to see how well it'll do, but definitely next year we have to get the row covers on them. It'll make life a lot easier when it comes to cleaning them. But yeah, the garden is still coming along, still flowers blooming, still, tomatoes are ripening more and more every day. The more I pick, the more they start to ripen. So I just came out here this morning for my usual morning constitutional and just seeing what I need to do today. So probably cutting pumpkins, harvesting pumpkins is on the list, and definitely harvesting tomatoes as well. There's definitely quite a few out there that are ready to pick. So I'm not sure what I'll do with them all. I might turn a bunch of them into sauce, that kind of thing. We didn't take tomatoes to the farmer's market yesterday because we just didn't have time to harvest them. Like I say, it rained so much this week that the garden is wet, and it's still fairly wet, and we just didn't have time to get them picked. So we did have a couple of people ask for them, but we'll have to make sure that we have them next week at the market. So, but yeah, other than that, a very short garden update. Things are still going along. Yeah, hopefully we'll be having a pumpkin sale sometime soon. Like the demand for them should start picking up after this weekend. The Canadian Thanksgiving is the second weekend in October, so about a month before the Canadian Thanksgiving. So that's probably when people will be starting to buy the pumpkins, is towards the end of September. So anyway, I hope you're enjoying your Saturday. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. I'm going to get busy and do some stuff out here in the garden. And we'll be talking to you again real soon. So until next time, take care.